Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about section 1.7 examples. Hopefully you viewed the lecture and have read the book, and now you're ready just to see some further examples from the homework set. Number 31 is the first one I'll be working on, and we see what they're asking us to do is multiply this whole chain of numbers out. Well, from the rules that were in the PowerPoint, we see one thing we can do is we can just simply count the number of negative numbers in this chain. And if we look through here, we have one right here, and we have another one right here. And those are all the negative values in this entire chain. So we have two negative values. We can just put a note over here, two negatives. Two negs. And since 2 is a even number, we know that the result, the product, is going to be a positive number. So now we can go ahead and just do our multiplication. We know our product is going to be positive. I'll go ahead and put that right away just so it's a good note. And now let's go ahead and just multiply. We can forget the negative numbers because we know it's going to be, the result's going to be positive. And we can just put 5 times 3 times 1 times 2 times 3. Now we can just go ahead and multiply all that out because we took care of the negative numbers already. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 30 times 3 is 90. So our final answer is going to be positive 90. Now let me just save that so you guys have it for notes. And let's go to the next problem. Come on, computer, there we go. And the next one we'll be working on is number 55. Number 55, the question is 7 divided by 0. So if we look at the rules for 7 divided by 0, anything divided by 0, our answer has to be undefined. And this is the actual answer you would write out. We know undefined is not a number, and that's because this, with the 0 on the bottom, there is no number. Just for fun, let's go ahead and try this one. 0 divided by 7. Well, we know from the rules in the PowerPoint that 0 divided by anything is just equal to big 0. Another example is 0 divided by a million. Let's put 0 divided by a million is still just equal to 0. So that comes from the PowerPoint slide rules as well. So let me just save this one too. Let's open up the next problem. The next one we're going to work is number 71. Oops, I put save as. I'm trying to open. And I apologize for the blinking cursor, but the program I use to record the videos takes up a lot of memory, and it just makes the flash on the cursor a little bit weird. So now on number 71, they're asking us to divide two fractions. One of them happens to be a negative sign. So from the rule, the first thing we should notice is a negative divided by a positive is going to give us a negative number. So our answer is going to be negative. Let's just make a note of that real fast. So if we take note of that real fast, we can forget about the negative values and just focus in on the actual division. And we know when we divide fractions, we just flip the second one and multiply. And here we know we can cross multiply. 7 goes into 14 two times, 7 goes into 7 one time, and we're left with 2 times 8, which is 16, over 9. And we know it's going to be negative, so our final answer should be negative 16 over 9. And you can leave it in improper fraction form. Typically from now on we normally won't use any mixed numbers. Improper fraction form is good. However, always make sure that you're at your lowest state, that you can't reduce any further. And of course 9 and 16 don't share any common factors. So now let's go ahead and save this guy. And let's open up our last example. We're going to work on number 95. So number 95 combines everything you've learned to this point in the class. You see we have a variable in here, but we treat it no different. So the first thing we're going to want to do is use our distributive property to distribute that 4 to everything inside this first set of parentheses. So 4 times 2y is 8y. We have a negative there, so let's go ahead and put that. 4 times 3 is 12. We have a negative here. Let's go ahead and distribute that negative right away. Negative 1, remember this is like, there's like an imaginary 1 here, right? Negative 1 times 7y gives us 7y with a subtraction there. Negative 1 times a positive 2 gives us a negative 2. Now there's several, like I said, there's many ways to do these problems, so if you're comfortable doing it a different way, that's great. This is just using the method they describe in the book. So now what we're going to want to do is convert all of the subtraction signs into addition signs. 8y plus, well, since it was a subtraction before, we know we got to change the sign. Here's another one, plus, we've got to change the sign to negative 7y. And the last one also, we got to change the sign to negative 2. And now we can go ahead and combine all of the y terms and all of the constant terms. When we combine all the y terms, we end up with 8y plus negative 7y. That's in its own set of parentheses. Plus, now we combine all the constant terms. We know we have a negative 12 there. Plus a negative 2. So we're going to calculate this out. 8y plus a negative 7y leaves us with 1y. So I'm just going to put y because we know there's a 1. When there's no number in front, that means there's a 1. So it's just 1y plus negative 12 plus a negative 2 takes us to negative 14. Now the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you that we can also, at the very end, after we've done all of our work, it's nice to go ahead and only have one sign in here in between the two numbers. So whenever we have a plus a negative value, that's the same thing as saying y minus 14. And this is the way I'd like you to write your final answers. So hope that helps. Good luck on the rest of your homework, and see you online.